Imperialism in Africa. By the year 1880 and 1910, our country Africa was dispersed among the Europeans. Many circumstances led up to why the European nations competed with each other to gain colonies in our country. The more territory that they were able to control here, the more powerful and extraordinary they thought they could become. We were extremely rich in our natural resources, which could be brought to Europe and turned into manufactured goods. Europeans also needed markets for their manufactured goods. These goods could be sold here in our country for large profits. Often, a European nation would take over our territory here simply just to prevent another European country from taking it. European rule came here in many different ways. Sometimes, a European trading company made agreements with our African chiefs, permitting the company to trade and keep order in the area. The traders then put pressure on the European government to take over in order to protect them. In a few cases, tribal chiefs voluntarily asked for the protection of one European nation in order to avoid being taken over by another European nation. Sometimes, we even asked for European protection against other African tribes. Treaties were signed by our African chiefs in which they gave the European company or government the right to keep order or govern and to make over the land and resources in their area. Thousands of treaties were signed by our African rulers, giving away most of their rights to the Europeans. But we never really understood these treaties and did not realize what they were giving away. Europeans soon began developing vast overseas empires. In the late 1880s, Europeans renewed their interest in colonizing. New technology made it possible for countries to colonize deep into our country for the first time. In the 16th century, the western part of our country, Africa, encountered penetrating effects of the new trade routes. Struggles soon advanced among us coastal people for control over trade routes and access to the new firearms from Europe. Paying no attention to the existing tribal boundaries, Europeans claimed ownership of our African soil. The result of ignoring tribal, ethnic, and cultural boundaries caused ongoing tribal clashes. European domination led to erosion of our traditional African values and destroyed many existing social relationships. We, the native peoples, were forced to work long, hard hours for the necessary pay. On the contrary, imperialism saved us Africans in a lot of ways. Some benefits were roads, railroads, schools, hospitals, improved sanitation, and better farming methods. When medicine and a better nutrition were introduced to us Africans, the population and the lifespan of our African peoples increased. A selected minority received improved education and greater economic opportunities. Imperialism did help us to improve our technology, but our people's hearts remained unchanged until the missionaries were established.